Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jennifer. We are a middle aged couple with a Regal Unlimited subscription and a serious fetish for movie popcorn.
So we're making a video for every movie we see together in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we saw One Battle After Another,
Mm-hmm.
the Paul Thomas Anderson movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's a very depressing movie. That's the first thing I'm going to say. I think that we differ greatly on how we felt about this movie, interestingly, although not as much as I think maybe we thought we did.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to say about it. It's got some incredible sequences. There's some great action in this movie. Paul Thomas Anderson is a great film director. I've loved a lot of his films, and I think that this is an incredibly well-made film. The cinematography is just gorgeous, and the sets, the costumes, everything about it is just so perfectly done. It's just a masterpiece of putting together different kinds of movies. There are influences from, like, well, you said Bullet.
Yeah, I mean, IMDb told me that. Yeah.
You know, and then I don't know, documentaries about the Black Panthers and you know,
Like some of the lines from the movie come from the Weather Underground.
yes.
Yeah.
I have reasons to say the Black Panthers, but yeah. And just so many other films. It's like 90s action films and that Leonardo DiCaprio should be in. And Benicio del Toro is in a completely different kind of funny movie about, you know, the immigrants coming over the border from Mexico. It's just, I don't know. It's got a lot of stuff in this movie. It's definitely should get Oscars. I think that it's going to be, a lot of people are going to consider it the best film of the year. I don't ever want to see it again. I don't ever want to see this again. It was very depressing and very sad, and I just didn't enjoy it at all. I felt incredibly tense and nervous throughout the entire film, which was intentional. That was absolutely what you were supposed to be feeling. I felt like the characters were in a terrible, terrible situation that they were desperately trying to dig their way out of. And often that makes for great drama. In this case, it just made me incredibly sad. These people were in a bad situation and it wasn't really their fault. I don't know, maybe you disagree about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have very different takes on this movie. Like, not that my take is positive, but my take is negative about it in very different ways. Like, this has got to be all spoilery. So, like, this is just straight out spoilers,
Sure.
right? So, the characters that you're supposed to be sympathetic to are a revolutionary group, right? And they're a leftist revolutionary group. And
Called the French 75.
The French 75.
Which is a cocktail.
Yeah.
Because this is based on a Thomas Pynchon novel.
Right. And I've not read any of his books. I did not read this book. So I'm ignoring any element of that in my reaction to the movie because I don't know it, right? Mm-hmm. So I was going to be perfectly happy skipping this movie from the commercials because the trailers made me think that this is a movie that's showing these revolutionaries as ridiculous and insane. And then something happens and like hijinks ensue or something. And I think I'm supposed to get that this is a comedy. I don't know where the comedy is besides Leonardo DiCaprio's character being utterly incompetent and an idiot and high and drunk most of the time, which I find actually offensive in the sense of like, so you've got this revolutionary group at the beginning that is this multiracial revolutionary group. And, you know, in the end, all that's left of this revolutionary group for a good portion of the movie is idiotic Leonardo DiCaprio, right? So, like, the idiot white man survives. Although he clearly is not completely an idiot because this man is the bomb master for this group, right? So there's something in his skull, but there's almost no demonstration of that in the context of this movie.
Well, I think that we also have to take into account the fact that the first 45 minutes of the movie is set
17 years ago.
Whatever. And it's the story mostly of Perfidia
Beverly Hills.
This revolutionary who can't give up the revolution, but then, ends up corrupted and makes bad choices.
A character who makes zero sense, right? So this is Tiana Taylor, who is an amazing performer, is a singer, is a dancer, is an actress, and is probably the sexiest woman on planet Earth. And did she not do it for you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, okay.
Gave you a little shrug.
It was partially blocked by the frame of the glasses, so I didn't know if it was like a yeah or a dubious, Yeah. So yes, right. And she is this ostentatious badass, right? Like, fine. What she does makes literally no sense, right? Like, so yes, she's this huge revolutionary, but when she decides that the level of violence they've been using isn't enough, and she actually murders someone, right, then this causes a problem for the revolutionary group, and they get caught, right? How do they get caught? She gets caught, and she gives everybody up.
Yeah.
She gives everybody up. You don't get the sense that they tortured it out of her, that they beat it out of her. Look.
If we're doing spoilers.
If they wanted to make that clear, they could have made that clear, right? But so she gives everybody up. And who does she give everybody up to? Sean Penn, who
is playing the sociopathic.
Who's a sociopath
agent. Who
like she had fucked, like, for reasons that made no sense. To be honest, it felt like fucking Monsters Ball, a movie I have not thought about in a long time, but I've read something else about something else a couple of days ago that made me think about that movie, and I'm never not going to be ragingly angry that movie also won Oscars. As much as I love Halle Berry, and why shouldn't she have an Oscar? Because everybody else and your grandmother has an Oscar for bullshit. That movie was bullshit. And this move with Tiana Taylor in this story was bullshit. Yeah. But it's the anchor for the whole rest of the movie, right? So she's fucked Sean Penn, who, like, hates her, right? But is attracted to her. And hates revolutionaries and everything they stand for, but is attracted to her, right? So she basically, like, fucks him to, like, dominate him, right? And he loves it. But no one else knows it happened, right? So then when she gets arrested after having committed this murder, she's going to use him to get out of it. But what she has to do is give everybody else up. And she does, right? So then the amorphous American military, terrorism put-downer groups know who all her revolutionary cohorts are. And as many of them as they can find, they simply execute in the street, right? Almost all of those people are musicians, and I don't really know why that's the case. The white woman, this is learning this from IMDb because I wouldn't recognize this woman if she came and sat on my face, is one of the Haim sisters that are musicians, but they did you see Licorice Pizza? No. One of the two of them was in Licorice Pizza. I don't know if this is the one that was in Licorice Pizza. It probably is. I don't know. And... yeah, so like a bunch of these people get killed, right? And there had been like bombs and violence and stuff earlier in the movie, but no one had actually died among the group that you were supposed to like, right? And you're supposed to like this group because what you see them do at the beginning of the movie is raid a migrant detention center and get people out, right? So then Tiana Taylor, like, goes into witness protection, ditches witness protection, and somehow walks across the Mexican border, right? Which even 17 years ago, I don't believe she could have just walked across the Mexican border. And then she's, like, not in this movie anymore, right? Like,
so that's the first 45 minutes.
And all the, like, like basically the only people that survive this revolutionary, this end of this revolutionary group, or this implosion of this revolutionary group, are Regina Hall, who just kind of goes off to God knows where. We see another guy whose name I don't remember, who goes off to God knows where, and Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor's baby, who he thinks is his, right? And the
spoilers,
the big twist of the movie is that it's actually Sean Penn's kid, right? So then, so that just made me wildly angry. Like, everything about that was just so nonsensical and so if this movie is supposed to tell me, I think the message this movie is giving me, or is assuming that I, as the viewer, am going to be in support of at least the message that these revolutionaries have, even if I don't agree with revolution. What am I seeing but a multiracial revolution where the innocent-ish idiot white guy is the one who survives it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the problem with much of revolution on the left, right? Is is exactly that. So what? So I'm supposed to be in support of this, right? And so then fucker goes into the woods in California and basically gets high for 16 years while his kid grows up, right? And then Sean Penn wants to join this cartoonishly evil white supremacist group of elite white supremacists who,
they're clearly connected to the top levels of government.
Right. And the top levels of everything, of business, of military, of government.
And their mission is literally just to kill every non-white person in America.
Basically, right? And
so the big problem, of course, is that Sean Penn might have a mixed-race child.
Right. And the idea that even the most ostentatiously white supremacist group in this country at this moment would go to this level of checking people out as if they wouldn't have happily accepted Strom Thurmond, as if they wouldn't happily have accepted, as if they wouldn't happily have accepted J.D. Vance. What? So that whole thing made no sense, right? It's just so cartoonish. And yes, Tony Goldwyn is perfectly cast as cartoonishly evil white businessman, of doom, right? Perfect casting. And all the other little functionary, the kind of powerful white man who will smile to your face and literally kill you at the end of it, right? Mm-hmm. But not in any bloody, messy way, and not in any way they actually have to see that they killed you, but they will kill you, right? Not that I don't believe that those people exist, right? But again, it's just the level of cartoonishness about it that was if I'm supposed to think this is funny, it's not funny because it's too real.
Yeah.
But it's not real enough to be real. So now I'm just mad, and it just becomes this movie that's about these white guys. And it's a revolution that's the big thing that you see in the movie that the government is doing that is evil is its treatment of migrants who have almost no lines. And then Benicio del Toro, their background, right? And Benicio del Toro is running this underground, save migrants group that is incredibly well organized, that includes no idiots who do amazing work, and you just see it happening in the background while ditzy dipshit Leonardo DiCaprio is spinning on a top stuck in his ass, continuing to drink beer, right?
To be fair, Benicio del Toro is also drinking beer with him.
And running this group.
Yes.
He runs this group. He saves hundreds of people that are under his roof from the military, from the military or ICE or whoever the hell these people are who are looking for Leonardo DiCaprio, like he makes the mistake of bringing him home, but he had already brought this group to his home anyway, and he didn't realize it because of the connection, because the daughter goes to his dojo, like they would have found his operation anyway. As far as you see, he gets everyone in the operation out of this building, and the people that don't leave, you get the idea are residents who have like actual status who can stay, right? And then he goes off, rescues Leonardo DiCaprio again, continues drinking beer
because he's a good guy.
Yeah, and basically gets arrested for like driving drunk, as opposed to like, obviously he's going to be figured out and he's going to spend a bazillion years in jail, but he will have gotten everybody out, right? Like, so he runs this incredibly competent operation. The operation gets Leonardo DiCaprio out of a police station without weapons because the operation is competent, right? So that operation is competent. We know that exists. That is not the focus of this movie, right? The incompetent revolutionary operation, which starts out quite competent, right, and then ends up dissolving, partially because of its own, Tiana Taylor like just gets all postpartum depression murdery, basically. But the movie is about Sean Penn and Leonardo DiCaprio and Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Who in the end like comes into her.
Chase Infinity.
Yeah, is the actress. Never. This is her first movie. I mean, maybe we saw her in a TV show somewhere. I don't know, but it's her first movie. Huh. And we've just been seeing these trailers for like a fucking year, so it feels like you've seen her a zillion times. But it's been I've seen 75 trailers for this. She's
good
movie.
She's very good.
She is really good, and she has this arc of discovery, right? Like that, she turns into this proto-revolutionary. She
thought her mother was a hero, and then she finds out that her mother was an informer.
Yeah.
And then she kind of deals with that, but then at the end of the movie, she kind of has mixed feelings about her mother. Mm-hmm. And it's,
yeah. So there's some really great visually interesting sequences, but I feel like this is a movie that I think is supposed to tell you that there is an entity that's worth confronting in this country who's doing something bad. And the people who can confront that entity are a series of people that you can't name or identify or even see who are successfully subverting that. Mm-hmm. People who try to subvert it and fail. Mm-hmm. And the people who try to subvert it and fail and survive are idiot white people. And a few non-white people attached to them. Like, I think that's the message I took from the movie, whether that was the intended message or not. And that message makes me angry. So
the movie just made me sad.
Yeah. I didn't take it as a reflection of the inability to actually subvert the state or confront the state. Like, well, again, I know enough.
One of the things in the movie is the state is constantly subverting itself. It's so obsessed with purity and whiteness that it can't actually function. And that's the only reason these characters aren't just all murdered in the first scene.
Sure, right? I mean, I think there's some of that. I think there's also a sense of, like, yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't take it as a personal reflection on the possibility of making change in society. Mm-hmm. Like, that these people are so that some of them are so cartoonishly idiotic. It's like, of course you can't make change in society if you are an idiot.
Well,
like the movie, I'm not even going to take that personally.
The movie never gives them a manifesto. There's no point at which they actually say what they're actually standing for, other than.
I think Tiana Taylor gives very clear manifestos about what they're very clear about a lot of things that they think are wrong. what they don't have is a vision for what society should be. Like
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
They don't
It's
ever say that. Yeah, no.
for her, it's just that her life's work is to be a revolutionary.
Yeah.
But then when that is no longer possible, she just, without blinking, turns on her fellow revolutionaries. Like
Yeah.
she just, I think, and like she gets pregnant, and like everyone's like, oh, she doesn't even know she's pregnant when she's like 9 months pregnant. And then she has the baby, and she's like, this baby is interfering with my ability to be a revolutionary. And everybody's like, don't you want to be a mother? Or isn't that the most natural thing in the world? You're a woman, you're supposed to be a mother. And she's like, nah, I'm a revolutionary. I'm going to go be a revolutionary.
And I mean, also part of it, you realize, is that she's having Sean Penn's baby, and she probably fucking knows it, or at least suspects it, right?
Sure.
Which no one else in her life knows. But, like, you just don't have the baby.
Well,
Like, there's a whole bunch of solutions to her revolutionary problem. But because she's not actually a character,
yeah.
like, there's no development or debate or no whatever about it. She's just doing insanity.
I think you caught it exactly right. She's not a character. She's a force of nature.
Yeah.
She is the feminine blackness, and she is going to sweep through everybody's life and turn everything to chaos, and that's just her function.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see how that'd be offensive.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like, dude, like, okay, whatever. But, like, I'm sorry. If there is something that Sinners is nominated for, and this movie is nominated for it too, I don't care if it's best puppy in the background.
Okay.
I don't give a fucking shit. If
A hotly contested Oscar, yes.
it doesn't have to be an Oscar. You know what I mean? It could be a Razzie. Like, I don't care what it is. Whatever Sinners is nominated for, if this movie is nominated for it and it wins, I'm done. I'm done with movies. I'm done with everything. Because you've got to be shitting me. You have got to be shitting me. This movie was not made for me. Got to tell you, this movie was not made for me.
Yeah. I think this movie was made for me. And I just found it incredibly depressing.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this. We didn't watch Civil War.
Yeah.
We didn't watch Eddington.
Yeah.
Because we're just too close to these things.
I was going to let this movie pass.
I had heard, as usual, somebody told me, oh, it's not what you think it is.
Yeah.
It was exactly what I thought it was.
This was not what I thought it was. It was worse.
Okay. But like Editing and Civil War, we managed to skip because it just, it's important that people talk about these things. I don't know, man. Hollywood is not going to have the final say on ICE. It's not going to have the final say on the culture wars. It can't. TV can't do it. The revolution can't be televised, right? That's the thing in the end. Is like, I don't think that Hollywood can make a movie that's going to move the needle one tiny little bit on where we are as a culture.
Well, I don't want to understate or overstate. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't go that far, right? Like, it'll be noticeably bad when a movie like this cannot get made. You know what I mean? Because, like, any of these ideas or any negative depiction of anybody wearing something that looks like a military uniform is, like, not possible to make.
Oh, that's already happened for everybody except Paul Thomas Anderson and people on his level. Like, this is,
it's not. That's not true.
That's why Eddington, Civil War, this movie were all made by these incredibly hyped directors, as opposed to some rando who then went to Hollywood with a great screenplay, and Hollywood said, "Oh, let's shake up the bourgeoisie." No, these films were made by like directors who basically can greenlight their own films. I recognize that it's not that simple. I recognize that the system doesn't work for everybody, but it's just I don't know. I think that, like, directors of a certain caliber have used their cachet to get these films made. And that's important and great. And I really hope that somebody sees these films and actually, like, changes their mind about something, sure. But it just, if you're already on the same side as the director, it's just preaching to the choir. I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, yes, your point about like it being preaching to the choir is true, right? But it's still, what I'm talking about is a society in which, like, as much as it feels like only one perspective is validated, it's actually not true, right? Like,
Sure.
criticism is still possible, right? Like, it's still possible, it's still legal, it still can be done.
Yeah.
And so as much as this movie is not made for me and, whatever, I don't think it accomplishes what it's set out to accomplish. Like, it does matter that movies like this are still being made.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the point of then calling this a good movie or a good version of what it's doing, right? But that, I don't know that this movie could be made 2 years from now, right? Like, that's what we're both worried about.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it could be made and could be distributed and could be seen is still a relevant point to make, right? Like,
sure.
it is very critical of the existing system in a cartoonishly, unproductively cartoonish way, I think. But it's still critical.
Mm-hmm.
And criticism is scary to the authoritarian mindset, like, that's why there's such a desperate desire to eliminate criticism, right? Mm-hmm. So the fact that criticism still exists, because that's what this is meant to be, in a way that Civil War, I think, had a different purpose. Like, I think Civil War was supposed to be a warning of what could possibly happen if we go the wrong direction, right? But not as direct a literal critique of what is literally happening right at the moment. And yeah, I mean, it's also not a movie that might be possible in a couple of years, right? But yeah, so I don't want to overstate, like, now. Right? We can do many things. We can say many critical things. Like, Paul Thomas Anderson can say critical things. Jimmy Kimmel can say critical things, up to a certain point. Like, yes, like, speech is getting squashed, but it's not flat yet.
Fair.
But yeah, if this movie wins any Oscars, I'm going to be very angry.
It's going to win a ton of Oscars.
I know it is, and I'm going to be really angry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just be sad.
Hopefully, maybe someone will do a little callback and end up putting Michael B. Jordan in kind of the same spot in the theater that Chadwick Boseman was in, so that he can give the same look that was given when Green Book won the Best Picture. Not like Black Panther deserved the Best Picture, but when Green Book won over.
Great.
It's a great movie, but I mean, was it the best movie of that year? I don't even know.
Better than Green Book.
Well, of course it was. Like, a film of my asshole was better than Green Book. But, like, I don't know if you remember this moment, but there's a moment where he gives somebody, I don't know who it was, a look of, or maybe it was Ryan Coogler, a look of, like, of course, you know. And as long as Michael B. Jordan gets the opportunity to be on film giving that exact same fucking look when this piece of shit wins over Sinners, at least I'll have something to talk about next year after the Oscars.
Well, okay, to wrap up, you can't ever say we didn't tell you what we really thought of the movie.
No, you cannot say that at all.
I know, we have, our take on this is like contrary to the groupthink. I mean, people are loving this movie.
I saw a wildly different film.
Yeah. Okay. And honestly, if somebody tells you, "Oh, don't go by the trailer doesn't tell you what this movie's about." The trailer is literally.
The trailer's like half the fucking movie. Oh my god.
The movie's 2 hours and 45 minutes long. The trailer
half the
condenses
movie.
it to 90 seconds, which is an interesting accomplishment in itself. It's a complicated movie.
Yeah.
The trailer sums it up.
Yeah.
Takes out some of the grosser parts, but
yeah. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, Until next time. If we ever go see another movie. Yeah. Wow.
Goodbye.
Bye.